weighs in with one of our favorite neuropsychologists, Dr. David Nowell. Parents are concerned. Kids are getting their grades now, Dr. Nowell. Some kids are getting in trouble at school for things that you and I believe are going on in their brain. So I thought today we'd chat a little bit about motivation, ADHD, and dopamine. Tell us a little bit about what we parents need to know.
Lynn, you know, about 85% of us are neurotypical. It means we're wired like the next guy. It means you can expect me to do what my sister is doing. You can expect me to do what other people in my class are doing. But at least 15% of us are not neurologically exactly like the next person. For example, ADHD, autistic spectrum, reading disorder. Even some left-handers may be wired a little bit differently. And if someone is wired differently, expecting them to behave as though they were not is just going to frustrate me as a teacher, a parent, or a coach. And you and your listeners are probably familiar with dopamine as the neurotransmitter of reward. But even more importantly, it's the neurotransmitter of motivation. It's what pulls us forward moment by moment towards what? Towards something, towards a goal, towards I want to feel differently, I want something, or I want to avoid something. Understanding that dopamine is a neurotransmitter of reward in our brain sounds boring because you don't really feel dopamine crossing the synapse in your brain. But what you do feel is how dopamine shows up in your body. If you can remember a moment that was really nice, successful, warm, connected, special, a good moment, and you remember how you felt in your body, that's how dopamine shows up. When you start thinking about dopamine as feelings, that's when it gets exciting. When you pay attention to someone that you're teaching or parenting, and you notice they really aren't unmotivated. They're motivated for their favorite sport. They're motivated to text their friends. Sometimes they're even motivated to do things that are irritating. When a teacher sometimes says, I think he just does this to get my goat. I understand the frustration, but I'm also thinking, this is an 8th grade boy who is able to get the goat of an adult. And instead of trying to squash that behavior, I would say, let's broaden his repertoire of behaviors. He's really good at getting people's attention and being manipulative and assertive. Maybe one day he'll make a good politician or psychotherapist. Now we need to teach him to be a good team player and to make sure that he's identifying and respecting other people's feelings. But I want to start with, why do you think he wants to get your goat? What about that feels so good to him? It's the feeling that he's smart, that he's powerful, that he has an impact. I bet at the root of that, there's some motivation there that we could affirm, because it's absolutely okay to want to feel that you're smart, that you have an impact on other people, that people stand up and take notice.
So let me ask you this. Why are some of these beautiful children motivated toward negative behavior, but they're not motivated to pack their backpacks, do their homework, help with the dishes?
I think that even beneath a negative behavior, there's a motivation that we could affirm and honor, and I would start there. And even adolescents who, for example, are cutting themselves, there's something there that's worth noting. For example, they're cutting because they want to be like a peer group who cuts. Absolutely. You remember what it's like to want to be a part of a peer group when you're that young. Or maybe they're cutting because it makes them feel different fast, and they want some strategies for feeling different. So maybe we know an occupational therapist or someone in the school who can help them find some sensory strategies to feel different. Even as adults, there are some behaviors that are negative, but at their root, at their core, I'm searching for something, and I'm just going about it in a way that doesn't bring me my desired results. And the reason that I may not be motivated to do things like get my math homework done, take out the trash, participate in family rules, maybe that those things are not intrinsically rewarding and interesting to me. So you, as a parent, need to help me bridge to something that is intrinsically interesting to me. One of the best examples of this is a young boy who doesn't enjoy doing his math homework, and he struggles with it because it's not fun, but he's crazy about capes. He's going through this phase where he loves capes. So his mom tells him that Superman doesn't need a cape to fly, to go to the bathroom or watch television. He needs a cape to stop a train or to fly through the sky, to do things that are hard. And she says, I'm going to buy some material and make you a luscious red velvet cape that you will wear when you're doing things that are really hard, like math. So she's connecting something that he enjoys, capes, to something that he's not intrinsically motivated by, to sort of help bridge that gap.
So I've heard a few very valuable things from you. One is that the amount of dopamine in our brain, or the way that our body uptakes dopamine, is correlated with our motivation. And
Right.
It's not that kids with ADHD don't have motivation. They do have motivation, but sometimes it's not for socially desirable things. So
Right.
as parents and teachers, you want us to tie together things that do motivate them with activities that are not tremendously rewarding in order to increase their interest in doing socially acceptable and sometimes much needed things like doing your math homework.
Yes.
All right, well that's...
But only,
yeah, go ahead.
but only for the next 18 years.
So we're here today on Dr. Lynn Weighs In talking with one of our favorite neuropsychologists, Dr. David Nowell, about a complicated topic: dopamine, ADHD, and motivation. We'll have Dr. Nowell back again. For today, we're wishing all of you who are watching peace and joy in your family.
Thank you.